In the minds of people, there's always a fear of bamboo lemurs disappearing from the world. The largest of the bamboo lemurs, this species can be identified by its distinctive white ear tufts. Discovered in 1870, it was believed to have become extinct in the early 20th century. It was rediscovered in 1972. It's only one of a handful of mammals that specialize in eating bamboo. Completely dependent on this low-energy food source, the lemur must lead a very sedentary lifestyle and spend much of its time eating. As with many specialist species, this lemur is unable to adapt to its rapidly changing habitat. Lemurs are some of the most basal living primates and have evolved for 50 to 60 million years independently on the island of Madagascar. One of the most endangered animals is the hawksbill turtle. It's olive green or brown above, richly variegated with reddish brown, dark brown and black. Hawksbills are named for their narrow, pointed beak. They also have a distinctive pattern of overlapping scales on their shell that form a serrated look on the edges. These coloured and patterned shells make them highly valuable and commonly sold as tortoise shell in markets. Hawksbills are found mainly throughout the world in the tropics oceans, predominantly in coral reefs. They feed mainly on sponges by using their narrow pointed beaks to extract them from the crevices on the reef. But they'll also eat anemones and jellyfish. Hawksbills help to maintain the health of coral reefs as they remove prey such as sponges from the reef's surface. They provide better access for reef fish to feed. They've also cultural significance and tourism value. For example, for local residents in the Coral Triangle, the flow of visitors who come to admire the turtles is a vital source of income. Another critically endangered animal is the koala. It's one of the rarest large animals on Earth. It's the sole species of the genus of bovids and also known to science only since 1992. Its genus name comes from its resemblance to the oryxes, antelopes of Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. But the koala's closest living relative are wild cattle and buffaloes. Koala is recognized by two parallel horns with sharp ends, which can reach 20 inches in length and are found on both males and females. Meaning spindle horns in Vietnamese, they're the cousin of cattle but resemble an antelope. Koala has a striking white markings on the face and large maxillary glands on the muzzle, which can be used to mark territory or attract mates. They're found only in the Annamite Mountains in Vietnam and Laos. The HAINAN gibbon is another most critically endangered animal. With a total population of only 30 individuals, the HAINAN gibbon is the world's rarest ape and one of the world's rarest mammals. The HAINAN gibbon was once widespread across Hainan in China, but now only found in the Boanangling National Nature Reserve. Habitat loss and fragmentation are the primary drivers of the HAINAN gibbon population decline. The world's remaining HAINAN gibbon population is expected to experience continued high levels of inbreeding in the future. Given extensive habitat loss, 99.9% of its natural range has been deforested and fragmented. This rarest ape species faces impending extinction unless corrective measures are implemented immediately. The next most critically endangered animal that may be at risk of extinction is the sandpiper. Spoon-billed sandpipers are unique birds with bills in the shape of spoons. They're critically endangered species, facing a number of threats in their breeding and overwintering areas, as well as along their migration routes. Rarely is a name so appropriate, for the bills of spoon-billed sandpipers really do look like little spoons. These unique little birds are sometimes called spoonies. They can be seen wading through the shallows, moving their bills from side to side. Sadly, however, there are now few to be seen. They are previously close to extinction, with fewer than 200 pairs left in the wild. These tiny little birds are capable of flying huge distances. Spoonies breed on the Chukotsk and Kamchatka peninsulas in Russian Far East, migrate through Russia, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, and the Jiangsu coast of China to winter in southern China, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Thailand, 8,000 kilometers from their breeding grounds. Sandpipers are a large family, Scolopacidae, of waders. They include many species called sandpipers, as well as those called by names such as curlew and snipe. The majority of these species eat small invertebrates picked out of the mud or soil. Different lengths of bill enable different species to feed in the same habitat, particularly on the coast, without direct competition for food. Sandpipers have long bodies and legs and narrow wings. Most species have a narrow bill, but otherwise the form and length are quite variable. They're small to medium-sized birds. Small bicolored sandpipers, which often bobs its tail in a distinctively wagtail-like manner. Plain brown with white underpants, distinguished from the bulkier and rounder-headed green sandpiper by a prominent white spur at the shoulder. Found in a variety of wetland habitats, breeds on the ground along rivers and lakeshores, with migrants occurring on muddy and rocky substrates from concrete canal banks to canals in tidal mudflats. Mainly found as singles or in small groups, not in flocks or mixed with other species. The last but not least most critically endangered animal is the black-eyed leaf frog. The black-eyed leaf frog is critically endangered high-legged frog, restricted to humid lowland and lower montane forests of southern Mexico and northern Central America. This is a rare frog that has a green body, black eyes and red or pink underbelly. They're found in moist subtropical lowland mountainous forests and wetland habitats of Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras and Mexico. They've been collected on the Atlantic and Pacific slopes of Veracruz, Chiapas, the Maya Mountains of Belize, northwestern Honduras and El Salvador. They can live in pristine or disturbed habitats and will breed in temporary or permanent bodies of water. They have an extended breeding season during the summer months. They deposit clutches of 50 to 75 eggs on vegetation or rocks underwater. The eggs of the Morellet's tree frog have a green pigment, and when they hatch, the larvae fall into the water to complete their development into frogs. Although commonly known as black-eyed leaf frogs, the iris of these species is actually an extremely deep red color. Their flanks are usually bright orange in color, but this color can be lacking in some populations. This nocturnal species is quite large, with females reaching 58 mm in size, and males being just a little bit smaller. The hands and feet of this species are only partly webbed, and they have only a limited ability to engage in the gliding behavior performed by some of the other leaf frogs. This species also lives at higher elevations than most other leaf frogs, and can be found living at 1,300 meters above sea level. As they've adapted to only be able to live at slightly cooler temperatures than most other leaf frogs, this may be contributing to their decline, as the chytrid fungus responsible for many amphibian population declines thrives at cool temperatures. These are the most critically endangered animals on our list. Please like this video, comment below about how to conserve critically endangered animals before they disappear. Share with your friends if you find this video interesting. Thank you everyone for watching the video to the end.